that became a reality. And as a result of that, these people are in my life. Everybody that you see up here, these are real people, and they're your friends, they're your family. So it is so important. In 2010, what we're realizing, we're looking at our numbers. What you don't realize is that actors are coming in, the gentleman in the back, you said it, actors are coming in from Atlanta. They're coming in from Florida. They're coming in from South Carolina. They're coming in from Virginia. And they're coming for these parts. The same parts that you're auditioning for. However, if you don't have the proper training, if you don't have the proper marketing materials, you're not going to get the opportunity to even compete against them. This gentleman said analyzing the character. You know, Damon talked about the poor man's copyright. This is a wealth of knowledge. I don't offer $15 events, period. You know, because there's a certain level, and I'm saying this to you people because I'm saying that this is what you want to do, this is what you want to do, this is what you want to do. There's no shortcuts. There's not. You know, I don't know how often how to stress that.
It really helps. Literary agents, they really help. There's a book that I will recommend in this field. Well, there are two books. Screenwriting for Dummies, the dummy book's really good, and the Emperor's Guide to Screenwriting, and that's a book that is fairly new. That book has been divided and written in volumes. So literary agents actually help market the piece just very much the same way a talent agent does for an actor or an actress. So literary agents help. Now, do you have questions about how to get one, or? Okay, because a lot of them actually can't deliver. A lot of them actually aren't really authentic, but the ones that are, one in particular that comes to mind is Inktip. Inktip is actually a site that is run by a company that's very authentic. Actually, one of the guys that I worked on his set out in LA from Hangar 3 Productions, he got his piece picked up. The Inktip helps writers and producers actually who are writers in general, help them find literary agents that connect you. The best way to do it is actually through a guild. Now, since they're actually telling you that, what you want to make sure that you do is, first of all, of course, your materials has a copyright on them. You want to actually try to set up some type of meeting with the agent yourselves. Basically, on the internet, in such cities such as New York, LA, Miami, Chicago, wherever you go, you look for, there's a certain seal, and I'll have to show it to you, but these particular agencies that are already affiliated with writers from the Writer Guild exclusively look for them that have this particular seal. They're actually under the Writers Guild themselves, if they're affiliated. I have some material I actually like to share with you. I can actually show you personally, but Inktip is one, and you want to make sure the agency is actually affiliated with the Writers Guild. Did you want to piggyback on this? But a literary agent helps, but there's okay, basically a production assistant, they'll categorize, a production assistant is sort of a generic category, it's a generic title. What I did was I actually helped the cinematographer on the set. Some production assistants are required to help the cinematographer, so they might be the assistant camera guy, or they might work what is known as grip, which is a popular term that we filmmakers have. You'll do grip. Production assistants, sometimes they'll make you run and go get drinks, donuts, etc. Yeah, absolutely, donuts, etc. Yeah, go for that. So a production assistant is a generic title in which you actually serve many roles, whatever you're skilled at. What I did was I actually helped the cinematographer operate camera B. I actually also helped the grip. The grip is the guy who actually works with the materials, that helps with the scenery, etc. Another production assistant might actually exclusively work with sound. Another production assistant, he or she may just assist the director or the assistant director. So that's a generic title.
Or they may wrangle.
Yeah.
Wrangle the talent.
Yeah, they might grab the talent.
Production assistants, on set we may pick on them, but really they are the oil for the gears. Things run so much more rough when they're not around. Actually, I did want to throw out a little bit of advice for the script writers out there. You know, it's really, you know, don't be afraid to direct it. You know, don't be afraid to actually make something happen or do it yourself. Do not underestimate YouTube. Or any of the other places where you can promote it yourself. do not be afraid of that, and do not be afraid just to do something. Make something, write something, shoot it. But if you're shooting something on a budget, the best advice I can give you, do not put anything in the script that you do not have yourself or do not own yourself. If 90% of the script takes place in a car and you do not have a car, put it away. Change the location. If there's a sword fight and you don't own any swords, change it. Time Stillers, the reason Time Stillers was done is because it was done on minimal locations and minimal people. 4 main actors, 2 extras. That was it. We used 1 location for practically all but 2 of the scenes. Coffee hut, front of the house. College, back of the house. Everything else took place in the garage and the various rooms. So, you know, smaller the better. Like I said, Paranormal Activity, one of the reasons why it was so cheap is it took place in that 1 house. You never left the house at all. So, and there's, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you can, special effects and that type of stuff you can do for cheap. The point being is that if you have a budget of $10, don't put it in outer space. It's funny, you know, it's kind of a no duh, but when you write and your creative juices get flowing, that car chase scene will look really good, but do you have the budget for it? And if you don't, can you cheat?
I mean, I can definitely agree with what you're saying, but then also, I mean, there's things that I've written in the script. I mean, I own them personally, but I know somebody who does own them. You know, so I have a means of going out and doing it. That's more so what a producer does, is finding the resources necessary in order to make it happen. Now, am I going to say, would it be a challenge for me to go out and find $1 million home? No, not if I know a real estate agent. You know, I mean, so you have to really think about it and utilize your resources from that particular standpoint. But, you know, but don't do an elaborate scene that's going to have to take place in uptown Charlotte where, you know, it's a 3-mile car chase and this car flips over and crashes. Yeah, because you got to have insurance. You know, it's a lot of things that take place in that. You got to have stunt doubles and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that can really jack up the budget. But, you know, just be resourceful in everything that you're doing, you know, whether you're actor, screenwriter, you know, you want to produce or what have you. But like I was saying earlier, learn everything about the business. You never know, you know, being a PA can get you a major speaking role. You just never know, or give you an opportunity to build a relationship with a director or someone else on that set. You know, I know people who were casted in The Wire just because they knew somebody else, that knew somebody else, that knew somebody else. You know, and that's, like I said, it's a business of relationships. So who you know will definitely help you out and put you on course.